Okay, we are live.
Perfect.
Hey everyone, welcome to the tCD Digital Chats episode 4. Joining me today is Neru Padmanabhan, who is a licensed financial professional and a financial educator who helps families, individuals, and businesses achieve their financial goals. She's on a mission that no family should be left behind from having a secure financial future. That is so amazing. Welcome, Neeru. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Avilasha. It's an honor to be on your show. I just finished telling Avilasha she's an amazing interviewer. I've been watching some of her YouTube previous episodes, so I'm gonna let everybody know, all the
You're very
viewers know,
kind. Thank you.
yeah, to log in and watch the previous episodes because there's some amazing interviews, and you're a great interviewer.
Thank you. So tell me something about yourself and basically the mission that you're on.
Yeah, definitely. So I've been about a year and a half into finances. So I became a financial professional about a year and a half ago. Prior to that, I was in social services for 14 years. And for 2 years prior, I volunteered in the field. So a lot of people ask me, like, why social services? Even a lot of my former coworkers will ask me, why did you move over to financial services? And the main thing is a lot of people that used to end up on my caseload were regular people. More than half of my caseload was often seniors. And I used to have immigrants end up on my caseload, people with crippling arthritises and chronic illnesses, entrepreneurs that would get hurt. And and I'm like, why are regular people, like, I was told that as a regular person, if I, save my money properly, put it into the right places, and one or two things here and there, and I'll be okay. I'll be okay. My future will be fine. And I saw all these seemingly regular people ending up in shelters. And when I really chalked it up, it was financial literacy, lack of financial products, lack of accessibility to knowledge that would get you the right types of products. And it was just life happened to those people. One or two things happened, and they ended up in a bad financial situation. And I would have widows on my caseload with little children. I also had, parents that passed away, and their children, and they didn't pass away with a will, so
Yeah.
um, their children went to the ministry. It was just so many situations that I saw, and I realized it was all kind of had to do with that. So more than half of my caseload really didn't need to be there. So I went out, I got licensed, I left my cushy position with all my little titles, and I dwelled into it. So if I see a problem, I said, I got to do something about it. I can't just keep on
Right.
saying they need to do something about it. Hey, why don't I do something about it? So this is me, this is where I am, and I feel like I'm making a real difference.
Nice. Okay. Like the first time we connected over call, I was so basically impressed by how passionate you are about financial advisory and educating folks on that. And it was just amazing to see the depth of your knowledge. And like, talk to me about like how you are how you're making an impact with your current role, and how have individuals um, basically what kind of individuals come to you, and how have you been approaching that education aspect?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. Great interviewer, as I said. Amazing question. So, for myself, I chose the company that I work with because they provide free knowledge. They have access to milestone products, and they believe in. So, when I say no family left behind, that is also their
Right.
mission. So, when they said no family left behind, I'm like, wait, that's me too. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I chose them because a lot of education goes into what we do. So, free financial plans, free projections, free education, free access to knowledge is one of their main objectives when they sit down with the individual. So it's not only just, about selling a product, it's about, changing a person's life through that accessibility of education so
Right.
they can make an informed decision. And for myself, there's no minimums, there's no maximums, there's no bars. So I have an individual that I'm working on that's on ODSP right now. We're just working on how to balance some debt issues, how to understand cash flow a little bit better. And then I have individuals that, have millions and millions of dollars to invest. So there's no bar on who I can work with. And that's what I love about it. So it's there's just no limitations there. Where I know one of the places that I had my money invested with, and when I was in social services, I was trying to look for somebody to do financial education for my life skills program that we used to run
Right.
at our nonprofit. And when I went to, my financial professional, they said, oh, I only work with people that have this much liquid assets or this much net worth. And by the way, because your net worth isn't this much, you're going to be receiving a letter in a few days to let you know that I'm no longer going to be managing you
Wow.
anymore. So that for
No.
me was
Yeah.
really hurtful. So obviously I pulled
Yeah.
money out of there and I actually put it in with the company that I now work with. So I was a
Okay.
client before I started working with them. So that was an amazing opportunity in that sense.
Okay. And what's the company that you work with?
Oh, I work with World Financial Group. Sorry, I didn't even
Okay.
mention it.
Okay. So enter March,
Mhm.
COVID times. How has um, how has that impacted maybe how people are looking at money, and how has basically digitization of so many other services impacted that
I would
area of
have,
financial advisory, area of, yeah, basically
yeah,
education also.
that's a great question again. Start of March, like the world just fell apart. I think there was that initial shock for the first week or so, but our company mobilized very, very quickly. Within the first week, we were already up on Zoom. Everybody was already conducting their appointments, digitizing calendars, and the product partners that we work with. So we don't have our own product. We're a broker of financial services and we work with different companies. So those companies mobilized very quickly and got their online platforms, their non-face-to-face, digital platforms working for us and training us on that
Mhm.
software and constantly improving that software. To this day, like yesterday, actually, we were on a call and a company was talking to us about how to use their software and how to
Mhm.
properly use their software and the new changes to the software that they have done since I think April, May, they changed a few things
Mhm.
that might have been glitching and they are making it easier and easier each time for us to have accessibility to their product. So I know for clients, it's actually made it a lot easier for people because all of a sudden you don't have to book appointment, you don't have to come to my office, go across town,
Right.
you don't have to have me over at your place, clean your place. It's just, the 4 blocks that you see me now, right? Everything around you could be a total and absolute mess.
Mhm.
So in that sense, it made it a lot more accessible to people, especially in the GTA area, I feel, because a lot of times traveling time gets us. Um,
Right.
so in that sense, we had that opportunity to reach out and see more people, see more diverse people,
Mhm.
and use online platforms such as Facebook, Instagram to get a wider message out as well.
Right.
Whereas people didn't really do that before, not as much. Now they're utilizing platforms, social media platforms to say, hey, if you would like a free checkup, give me a shout and we can jump on a Zoom call. I can walk you through some education and show you what a plan might look like for you.
Mhm.
And more people are open to that now because it's a digital, it's not hard for them to access. It's, they can see what it looks like. And yeah, so that I think it actually made it a little bit easier to access people and access diversely different people.
Interesting. Yeah, something like previous guests on the show have also mentioned is that um, this wave has kind of brought one particular advantage to everyone is that it has expanded the network and network in the sense of yes it has like basically you can access any folk sitting anywhere
Mhm.
regardless of their location, and also in some of the professions it has gone global. So that's really an interesting facet. And tell me something more about, so you're also an independent advisor,
Mhm.
and how have interaction between like one-on-one with clients and have been throughout this digital journey, and how have the clients been adopting to tech?
You know what? It's varied. So a lot of people. So one component of being fully technology based and digital based is sometimes you can't build that trust as
Yeah,
quickly you
trust.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because you can see the person, you walk into their office, you see their certificates, you see a different feel, so you can you can edify them in just walking into their office. But now I'm sitting across in a room in on Zoom. So sometimes for some people, they take a little bit longer to recognize, okay, this is a sound
Mm-hmm.
strategy for me, because they want it moves at um, your business will move as your clients trust you, and they give you, and you feel
Right.
that they feel that you're giving them the sound advice that they need. So sometimes in some ways, a lot of people that feared online digital world, sometimes I find have um, varying views on it and doing appointments
Mm-hmm.
online. And but most people, like, Zoom is a very easy technology to use, hence their stock is up. And they, a lot of people don't struggle too much as long as you can say, okay, press this, press that. And
Yep.
obviously we all have technology issues. I have technology issues even if I know how to use the software. But I feel that it doesn't impact appointments too much. And most people who understand the digital world that also conduct their business this way
Right.
find this as a very normal way to do business now.
Nice. Okay. So um, hopefully by next year we would be out of this pandemic. Hopefully we'll get vaccine soon. Um, what are some of the aspects that of digital age, well, hopefully the digital age will continue, but what are some of the aspects that you would want to continue and some of the aspects that you do not like about it?
Yeah, of course. I like a lot of aspects of it myself because I'm not from the GTA myself. I moved here. Traffic time for me, the amount of time spent in traffic,
Yeah,
traveling. I have
quite
started
important.
doing
Yep.
some appointments face to face, just people that have more problems with technology. So I have worked with people one on one since we've been able to do appointments. But after COVID, I will adopt a hybrid where I am doing Zoom appointments, but I am going out there and helping some people who may not be able to access technology as readily, and
Right.
who might need to say, like, I just need to see you face to face. I'd like to see the paper in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine as well. So in that sense, I will be using a hybrid model, and I know most of my colleagues will be using a hybrid model as well. And in some ways, I actually really appreciate that because it's maximized my ability to reach more people, reach more
Reach. Yep.
families, individuals, and have a higher impact. So, whereas in a day I could have maybe 4 appointments due to travel time, or 5 appointments due to travel time, now I can have 8 appointments,
Nice.
and back to back to back. And I have had 8 appointments back to back to back, so I
Wow.
know it's
Yeah.
possible. um, so it just makes it more and more fun and more amazing. And I'm excited to see what that hybrid model is going to look like when COVID
Okay. Yeah.
finishes.
Interesting. Let's take a bit of a segue into the financial institutions.
Mhm.
You did mention about like individuals um, kind of still adapting to that trust model of like either you are doing it online, but some folks still want to meet one on one to basically sign documents and stuff like that. How have the financial institutions, in your opinion, like because you're using their services also, like how have they come up with tools to basically facilitate e-signatures? And because I do know one of the requirements for, I think, life insurance, many carriers do need the advisor to be with their client when they're signing the application, right? So how have they seen they have like adopted to that transition? They have provided those digital solutions yet?
Yeah. Oh my God. Great question. So, some institutions have definitely done better than others. So we work with BMO, RBC, TD, Manulife, and we work with a lot of big insurance companies like IA Financial,
Mhm.
Avari, and again, Manulife, CPP. So each one does have a different digital platform, and e-signatures on each platform are different. A lot of them allow you to use DocuSign,
Mhm.
other Adobe Sign, and as long as you can verify their
Right,
identity. So that would be their identity documents would have to be
right.
there. So you do have to do your due diligence, and also because we're unable to do face to face and get copies of identification now, because we used to photocopy it, send it over, and
Mhm.
actually upload it to the application that you used to do. So now we're able to do just like the numbers, and then they do a soft check. Most companies are now doing soft checks, so it's not a credit check, it's a soft check for
Okay.
identity purposes. So verification is taken care of. They make sure that all identity documents are checked to make sure that everything is okay, so security and value is still there. And the softwares, some companies have actually adopted internal softwares where you can sign directly online, and you just say the client is online with me, and then they do that. And when you deliver the policy after it gets approved, there's different documents that you have to sign, that you also sign through DocuSign or different platforms to deliver that document. So it's actually quite secure, and there's lots of checks and balances that have been put in, and the technology is getting better and better. So there's companies in the beginning that came out with said use DocuSign, and now they're saying,
Mhm.
okay, now we have this. And then other companies are saying, we gave you this, and now we put this inside of our platform, so while you're doing the application, it directly signs onto the
Nice.
application. So you don't really need to be in front of the client because it's non face to face. That's how it's been designed
Mhm.
now.
Nice, interesting. So, do you think, in terms of digital documents and all the regulations, has it more increased now or still reduced compared to the paperwork and back and forth of documents that you had earlier?
Ooh, that's a good question. So the documents, in my opinion, because I'm still old school sometimes. Sometimes I need to see it in front of me. I need to see it in front of me. Sometimes the Adobe doesn't work and you're trying to fill out
Mhm.
something. Um, but the number of the amount of paper we used to use has decreased significantly. So I'm
Okay.
not handing out pamphlets, based on certain things that
Mhm.
certain programs that I say, okay, well, you can register into this program, or you can, or if you're selling a product, you give, the product provider's pamphlet out. So there's a lot less paper waste because you're doing it all digitally,
Right.
and a lot of the documents are accessible all digitally, and they work very well. And sometimes you have those days when they're glitching and they don't work so well, but there is less paper, and it is easily accessible, but it depends on the provider. So if the provider has a good platform and they have good software, they're updating their software, then it's so much easier to access even with your client. But if they have
Mhm.
older software, so I know a lot of companies are now putting in a lot of time, effort, and money into improving their digital platforms for users like us, because we can only
Right.
push a product if it allows us to be non face to face. So, because a lot of people don't want,
Mhm.
they're not comfortable with face to face visits yet.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? I wasn't sure if I answered that.
Um, yeah, yeah. So it definitely did answer the part that paper trail has reduced. And with respect to digital documentation, so you did mention there's still lots of checks and balances in place. Do you find that digital documentation has been like more overwhelming than paper documentation was? Basically, in terms of number of documents that you now have to go through versus earlier.
Ooh, okay. So that's I would have to say it depends user to user. It
Okay.
like not user to user, company to company. Some companies have increased the number of things that you have to do in
Mhm.
order to meet those checks and balances. Their paperwork's a little bit wider, but some
Right.
companies have made it so seemingly easy now that we no longer have to submit the paperwork anymore. You walk through the
Nice.
application, you fill out a few documents, you send them here, and the procedures are outlined very quickly and easily. But other companies, it's not so easy. So I would have to say it's a company to company thing, but definitely some companies have made it so easy, and even their signatures, the e-signatures, work very well. Delivery is easy, so it definitely is a highlight when you're working with that company and they have amazing software. Paperwork trail isn't too hard to work with. And then you have other companies, they also have amazing products, but sometimes their digital platform isn't as easy to work with, and it actually has
Hmm.
more documents to run through than you would have if you had
More
done
broken
it. Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah, more broken pieces, as you're saying. So it's really company to company, I have to
Mhm.
say. But it's all about what the client needs. And if the client needs
Right.
a company that might have software that's not as easily accessible, that's not as user friendly, you still go ahead and you do the application. And the more
Right.
times you do it, the easier it becomes to you.
Wow, that's a very interesting perspective. And also, we are seeing like so much competition in the fintech space right now, and truly like we are the ones who are benefiting from it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely continuous innovation. So that's really good. So yeah, that basically brings us towards the end of our chat. Would you like to share some like last words with your audiences?
Yeah, of course. You know what, the opportunity to be interviewed on your platform is absolutely amazing. The only thing I can really say is individuals that might be scared of technology, let the
Mhm.
professional guide you through the technology piece. Let them bridge
Mhm.
those gaps for you. So don't be afraid to speak to somebody because technology is holding you back.
Right.
Let the professional do the work on that. If they're booking the appointment, if you need something, they'll figure out a way to get it to you to make that user experience friendly for you so that you're able to get what you need. So I know a lot of people are still really afraid of technology. They're afraid of accessing those things. I would say let the professional do all the hard work, and if you need access to the product, if they want to help you, if they want to do what they're saying, if they want to sell their product, let them do that work. And that's what I'm going to kind of say. And just for myself, if anybody wants a free financial checkup, if anybody wants to look at their products and their services and just understand where their money's sitting and how it's growing, what their insurances actually mean, does it actually cover them for the things that they need? Um, I just do free financial checkups. I just look at what you have, I explain it to you, and if there's any holes in your boat, I let you know about that. So Never be afraid to access information. In addition to that, I'm also running a financial series with two of my professional colleagues, which is Jana Sang, she's a lawyer, and Andrea Valdescu, she's an accountant. So we're running a series. Yesterday we did newcomers to Canada, and on the 22nd we're doing relationship status, which is based on if you're married, if you're cohabiting, you know, if you're in a same-sex marriage or a same-sex cohabitating relationship, what do all of those things mean, and what are the
Mm-hmm.
legal status on that? How does money transfer over? What's a sound plan for a family? What are the best tax benefits and implications? Then we have business status, that's coming up on September 29th. And then on October 1st, we have estate planning. So, estate planning, we're actually going to have a worksheet attached to it. And estate planning is important for anybody in Canada because once you pass away, everybody has to go through something called probate. Probate is a
Yeah.
provincial taxation process. So, how to make that process easier, more accessible, and how do you avoid pieces of that process,
Interesting.
because you can definitely make it easier on yourself if you do better in where your products are. So that's a series that I'm doing. It's from 7 to 8. All of them are Eastern Standard Time, and they can be accessed to Eventbrite, and the posters will be everywhere. I also sent
Yeah.
Avilasha a poster as well. So
Yes, I'll make sure to add it to the description.
yeah, so it's all
Definitely.
free information, and it's held by our nonprofit platform, the one I volunteer for. They're called Public Allies. So we're running
Okay.
educational series through them. So we've had a lot going on, and hopefully we're going to have Abilasha on very soon on Public Allies platform to discuss her experience with digital platforms and how it
Yay,
can
I'm
help.
excited for that.
I'm super excited for that. Thank you so much again for this wonderful opportunity and this wonderful chat. Thank you again,
Thank
everybody.
you so much. Yeah, thank you to you for making time and contributing to this platform also. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for spending your time on this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and share. If you want to stay updated about digital journeys of more entrepreneurs and creators, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.